Hola guys and girls, and welcome to the last power rankings of the GPC. I am here again, once again, not alone. Of course you see Jesse's power rankings here on screen, but like you can see here, I got Bob with me, the founder of the league. Say hello to the people.
Hello guys and girls, hopefully. What's up?
Yeah, maybe there's some girls watching. We can always stream. But yeah, like I already said, these are the last power rankings of this season, so there is a bit of a difference. Basically, we decide not to rank everyone the same way. The first 4 spots are, of course, reserved to the 4 playoff contenders, and we decided not to rank them on the overall how they did in the season, but rather on who we think will win the whole thing, win the playoffs, and who will get second and stuff like that. Disregarding how they did in the regular season, because I mean that's basically more exciting to see who we think will win and why they win and stuff like that. And yeah, the rest is just ranked how they did in the season, like basically the whole season, because these is the rankings after every matches are done. Yeah. So
yeah, basically
that's basically everything. Yeah. This time we even have 16 teams because, like I didn't say it in the last video, like you all know, David dropped out and Shadi got in. So for this time we have Shadi with the Bayern Munich rank 2. He did his battles, and yeah, that's fair enough. Just re-rank him here too, so he does not cry out loud because we cannot talk about him. We did not talk about him.
He needs attention a little bit, so
yeah. But okay, looking at the bottom half, I got as last spot the Duns Arsenal, and I got the Sam, the Duns Arsenal last spot for a very simple reason. He did forfeit 2 matches in his season, basically after the last power rankings. I know Sam can do better than the last spot, but if you don't have, or let's say if you don't care enough for the league that you forfeit your matches, like of course I can be like an emergency, but there are 2 matches, and yeah, basically if you forfeit your match, and then I can rank you higher than last. Basically, if you forfeit more than 1 match, basically, that just means you're not invested really in the league, and if you're not invested, then I don't see you doing any good in the league. Even though he won some of the matches he did when he was not forfeited. But yeah, that's basically the reason why I have Sam in last, even though he did better than other people which are ranked higher than him.
Yeah, completely fair. I ranked him a little bit higher, but that's mainly because of the match he did play. That he did show some skill that proves that he's better than. I think, I do have them as third last. So, but yeah, the last 2 games that he forfeited is, yeah, that does show him that he's not as invested and not as capable maybe as the other guys in the league.
Yeah, okay, so you had your last pick, you have the Detroit Breakdowns, which I have second to last, and yeah, I think you can start talking about Brett.
Okay, well basically Brett, if you see the league table, like the whole table, he is the guy with the lowest win/loss differential thingy. He has 1 win and 6 losses, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
And basically, that's not the reason why he's last on my list. The reason why he is last on my list is in every battle except for the very last battle, he showed like almost 0 to none improvement on his games during the weeks. Most of his teams were the same, very similar at least, and his sets as well. And he never really made plays that impressed me or caught the opponent off guard. And I think in league play that's very important. And I do think that is why he lost most of his games, and that's why I don't think I can rank him any higher than last.
Yeah, that's basically the same reason why I have him second to last. I already mentioned why I have Sam lower than that, but he was the guy after that. He arguably did the worst in the league for just record-wise, and I can agree with what you said. And what I think what kind of lacks too was his attitude after some of the losses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, apparently last match he was very motivated for his last match again, but the ones before he took them to heart and stuff like that, and he got very down very quickly and stuff like that, and it got into a cycle of losing and then getting angry again and stuff like that, and yeah, he worked himself down there, basically.
Yeah, I completely agree on that. I do think, however, his last game versus the Sierra Valley Murkrows, which is very high ranked on both of our squads, of course, I do think that his game right there was actually very impressive.
Yeah, like that surprised me too, that he got very motivated for the last match and showed that he actually can do some stuff in league battles and matches in general, so...
Yeah, it's just he needs that consistency a little bit more and the motivation to do so. And if he doesn't show that, then unfortunately I cannot rank him higher than that, but...
Yeah.
Maybe for another time, who knows?
Who knows? If you see him in a league, maybe he will do better if he keeps the momentum from this last match.
Yeah.
But okay, up to the next place. You have him at 15th and I am at 14th, which is the Toronto doTERRA and Omega.
Yep.
I have him second to last because, of course, he has the second to worst, differential and record. Record is the word I was looking for. He has second to worst record overall. He only has got 2 wins and 5 losses, so with even the minus 14 differential, so even a worse differential than our last guy. And yeah, he did not impress me too much. He kind of got the same problem that Brett got. For example, the one time he got very angry about the timer loss versus Margin, I think, because he tends to think a lot, which is fair. You can take your time to basically to win the game, but Margin didn't want to play with that and put on the timer and won because of that. They did make a replay. Because you can't just put on a timer. We did not agree on that in sort of a league, but that really got too hard for him, and that's why he basically didn't care anymore for the match and lost that. That was a basically good example of the attitude in the match I remember right now. I can't remember very much like I always had in the last power rankings because there are just too many, and we only do them. We don't do them every week, these power rankings, but looking at how he fared in the overall fixtures and overall matches, what he won versus, let's see, where are the, okay, here you see, now I can see them. Yeah, he lost 6-0 to you, he lost 6-0 to the West Green Park Rangers, he lost 3-0 to the Manchester Meganium. They're all big losses. He won 6-0 versus Parasens, which I can hold more court to him, that he got the 6-0 win, but like you can see on all our power rankings, Parasens are not too high either, and yeah, that's why I basically have him the last. His record is the second to worst one in the league, so he deserves this place in my opinion.
Yes, I completely agree on that. Of course, I have him at almost last, 15th, and basically for the same reason. I think his motivation did go down in the end, and mainly because he didn't have the skills to compete with the top guys, I want to say, in the league, and I think that brought him down a little bit, and that kind of destroyed his motivation a bit, and his skill too wasn't just at the same level as the other guys, and I do think that is why he lost some games, and in some games he just didn't have any chance to win, in my opinion. I do think that if you make a team, then you need to have a game plan on how you can win the game, and if you don't have a chance from the start of the battle, then you are bound to lose, and with a big score as well.
In defense for both for Brett and Omega, I want to say it's only natural that you get frustrated or demotivated if you lose a lot, or like maybe do not perform as well as you imagined. But that does not mean you basically stop trying to get your wins and matches and stuff like that. Even if you can't get a playoff spot anymore, and you maybe just get the second to last place in your division or something like that, it's every time it's worth to fight for, and that's the spirit we want to see in the league. That's why we are basically talking about that.
Not everyone has the same motivation. Not everyone is there to reach the playoffs. Some are just there to get a positive differential, win-loss ratio, and everyone needs to get a goal for themselves. And if that motivates you, then that goal is completely good. If it doesn't, then you need to set a new goal for yourself. Yeah.
Okay. Looking at the next place, we both have it at 13th, which is Bluesy and the Edinburgh Knights. And switching up, you can start talking about him.
Bluesy, well, first of all, fantastic person. He's really great. But I do think that his games weren't the best, not the highest quality. Although he did have some very fun sets and very creative sets and unexpected, I do think the main line of his games were very hard-fought matches, and he never really put himself in a favorable position, in a position that he could win. Even though he did make some good plays, nothing was quality-wise good enough to turn the advantage in his favor. And I do think that is why he didn't win every single game he played, and I do think that's why that's where his improvement lies in his games. So hopefully he will improve, and I can get him higher up on the ladder maybe next season, but for now he is 13 for me. I don't know what you say about.
I have him 13 too. Like that's what I said. Like we have them both at the same place. He had not really a good showing in the league, but what I like about Bluesy and why I'm higher ranked than the other two is that his attitude is the exact opposite of the other two. He's still motivated for every match. He's still trying every match. If he loses, basically he knows what to expect from himself. Let's say it like that. So that's why he doesn't get demotivated from a loss. He still tries. He's improving, and yeah, I see him a good future for him in the league if he can keep that up.
Yeah, I completely agree. He's a fantastic person, and his motivation is what keeps everyone else motivated as well. Because a loss is kind of annoying, and even myself, I do get salty after every loss. But with Bluesy around and showing how to deal with losses, then yeah, you can just motivate yourself again pretty quickly. And that's why Bluesy is a fantastic person, and that's why he does deserve a higher ranking than the other three guys on the league, on the table.
Yeah, I got basically nothing to add to that. Like in his matches, he lost 3-0 to Shadi, which is very high in both our rankings. He won versus Brad, which we can say 3-0-2, which is lower than us. And then basically he lost to all the guys which are higher ranked, and won versus Sasha in this one is the city. So he has some showings of that he can beat even people higher ranked than him. But yeah, he needs that consistency in that to basically get higher in our rankings.
Yep.
So, looking at the next place, we have at the 12th position, we have the Parasans, and yeah, it's about my time to talk about Parasans again. I had very high hopes at the beginning of the season for him because I looked at his draft and I very much enjoyed it. He had a very strong favoring in Steel Core, but it seems that Rufus still needs to adapt to the league format. I think he's new to the league format. Is that right?
Yeah,
okay.
He's the first season in every possible way in the league format.
Yeah, okay. I don't want to lie to you because I just think it was his first season. But yeah, it was his first season. For that, he had a pretty decent record with 3 wins and 4 losses, close to like 50-50 basically, with only a -3 differential. So seeing that's his first season, I was very impressed by his draft. His playing and planning still needs to improve, but nothing to expect from first season if you enter a league which basically is full of experienced people. But looking at his fixtures and how he played, basically, we can see that he won versus you actually 3-0. I was very impressed by that. He won versus the Manchester Meganium. He lost to New Jersey Jumplers and lost 6-0 to the Toronto Terrors, sadly. But if you can see, he won actually his last matches versus the last 2 matches, or not the last 2, it's week 4. Never mind, I lie. I'm looking at it wrong. But yeah, he has the potential to beat like even the more experienced guys like you and Connor. So, but for now, I think he's too inexperienced for league format. After the season, this may very well change. Like one season can change a lot, and I expect him to be higher up next season.
I definitely agree. I do think he learned a lot over the season. However, there are some critiques that I have on his planning because he uses a lot of choice bands, choice specs, months, which often prefer to have the chance to switch up moods. And that is where he often makes the mistake. And also, he actually got a little bit lucky in a lot of games. I do want to, of course, address the game versus me he won. He obviously was pretty lucky in that game. And
obviously, that's how you win this club.
I mean, that is completely true, but yeah. No, but I do think in some people call it skill. But in the power ranking ways, then I wouldn't call that skill. Well, it is a bit of skill, but yeah. However, I do think that makes him lower than the other guys that are also 3-4 or 4-3, very close to each other. Because his wins his matches often had a little bit of hacks in them that went in his favor, and because of that, I don't think I can rank him any higher than he is ranked right now.
Okay, fair enough. So, looking at the next spot, you have him at 11th and I have him at 10th. We are talking about Sasha and the Swan is the City. And yeah, let us hear what you can talk us about Sasha here.
Well, very, very simply, Sasha had one of the, maybe even the best team, at least the expected best team, because he was first in, I think, every single ones.
Yeah, like post-draft, he was first in everyone's power rankings.
Yeah, well, basically, I think if you look at the fixtures, he only won versus the guys that are lower on the league, on our predicted. No, what's this thing called again? Power rankings. That one.
Yeah.
So, I don't think I can rate him any higher than that because with a team like that, you are expected to do better than he did, and that is why I think he is deserving of the 11th ranking in place in my ranking because he underperformed with the team he had, and previous seasons he was doing pretty great. He reached playoffs last season, but if you look completely at this season alone, he hasn't performed to the same standard that we expected from him, and that is why he dropped in every single ranking and eventually ended quite low in 11th. I don't know what you have to add to that.
Yeah, like you said, we had high hopes for his draft. We know that he can play at a top level, let's say like that, for a playoff contender. We saw that already in Season 2. But this season he was lagging. Like, he had a good start in general to the season, but at the end, like, the biggest win I see was, after weeks, was basically a 5-0 win versus the team which dropped out, actually, the Svalford FC. Yeah. And the other win he got after the last power rankings was the forfeit versus Sam. And the rest was just losses, like a 3-0 versus Uzi, 6-0 versus Matt, what you see here, 6-0 versus Gareth. So he was losing big time at the second half of the season, and it may have gotten to him. I actually don't know, but
well, I personally do feel like he lost a little bit of motivation because of him losing a lot of games. So I do think that is a big factor in it. But then again, he could have turned it around very easily as well because he had the months in his arsenal to deal with his opponents.
Yeah, he definitely did. Like, maybe the pressure was a bit high from our side, everyone ranking at top, but that's something you have to deal with if you want to be high ranked in the power rankings, and if you want to be a top contender, this shouldn't be an issue for you. But maybe it got to him, who knows? But this time we have him ranked here at 11th. Or better said, 10th place on my side.
11th for me, 10th for you, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, then it's up to me again, and I talk about Gareth. I am at 11th. You have actually a bit higher on the 9th with the Lorient Lost list. And basically, I put him here because looking at the league table, he was the team which he is the wait, where is it? I can't find it right now. Gareth. Where do I find it? Oh, there it is. Okay, never mind. I find it. 3 and 4 with a -4 differential. He was worse than people like what you call it, record-wise. He did worse than other teams we have ranked below him, like the Parisians, for example. But I still had him higher because he has the showings that he can play, that he knows how to play and he knows how to end the game. That's the biggest problem I see. Or he notices himself already. He has troubles basically ending the game. He makes good predictions in the early game. He makes good calls in the early game. He has his plan in team building, but he struggles to pull that through till the end. He has just the moments where he makes one wrong decision and then like his whole plan crumbles and he ended up losing the game. And that's what basically needs to stop if you want to be top contender. Like he's in the middle of our rankings. For you in the close to the exact middle. At mine a bit lower, but. Yeah, he had record-wise, even though he was worse than the Parisians, I ranked him higher because he still planned and played good at the beginning of close to every match, but he had troubles pulling through, basically.
Yeah. Well, it is his first league season as well, so that is why I actually have him a little bit higher, because I expect great things from him in coming seasons, because he has shown every single match again that he knows how to play his teams and he knows how to play the game. Unfortunately, like you said, his end games weren't always up to the task, and I think that is because he doesn't know how the opponent is gonna, like the win plan of the opponent. I don't think he can implement it well to his team, and I think that is why he often lost the control end game, and suddenly the tide shifted against him, and that's why he lost. But I do think that he can easily work on that, just a little bit of training, and he can perform a lot better, especially if he has a team that is as comfortable with as he had in this season. So, but if you look specifically at this season, he had like a very good show against the bigger guys. I do think, except for maybe against Vespa Park Rangers, that's in the first 3 weeks somewhere. That game he got completely destroyed, but everything else, every other game, he actually made the game very close. Against guys like me, against Pierre, considered one of the better guys, because we both made the playoffs, of course. He had a very close game versus the both of us, and I do think that is what makes him a better player than everyone that is ranked below him.
Yeah, nothing too much I can add on that. Like, a big thing is that he notices his mistakes himself. Basically, after every match, after every match he lost, he could pinpoint the location where he misplayed, where he made a mistake, and that's the first step to improve, to not repeat them and basically only get better.
Completely agree on that, yeah.
Okay, so next up at the, let's see where we are. Lauren lost this 10th already had at the, let's see, at the 10th place you have Connor and the Manchester Meganium. I have him at the 9th, I have him a bit higher than you, but yeah, it's up to you again. Tell us about Connor.
Well, the reason why I have Connor below Laurie and Love is because he's number 9 for me. Connor, haven't always agreed on the way he prepares. It sometimes works out for him, sometimes it completely doesn't. But he has shown that he knows how to play the game, even though he he himself is a meme. Well, somewhat. But no, in general, he has actually had a really good season. His start of the season was fantastic. He was like, after 3 weeks, I believe, he was first in our division. And that means that he knows how to play the game. Although, I remember a very specific game versus Pierre, in which he used complete hacks to win the games.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah, and that was actually kind of... that showed on the league table he was a lot higher than he potentially should have been, because I don't think he should have won that game. And he used some of those strategies later on as well, if I recall correctly. So with a little bit of hacks in his favor, he was able to get the advantage over the others. But if it wasn't going to be for the hacks, I don't think he would have won those games. And that is why I cannot rank him higher than he is right now. Even though his, if you look on the league table, he is higher than Laurent Leptisk and the Parasens. So yeah, I mean, that's basically my explanation as to why I don't think he is in the top half.
Yeah, like I'm a bit higher because I do not... I was very surprised by Connor's record, or his performance in the league. He's not... He surprised many analysts with his performance so far. Like, he got the wins versus even the high-ranked people like Pierre and stuff like that. I agree that he used some hacks, but... I mean, if Connor is not taking the whole battle thing too seriously, and he still tries to win with uncommon sets, let's say that, and even if he has to resort to hacks, that's a tactic you can use. It's of course not the most respectable way, but what matters in the end are the results at the end of match, and yeah, true. I let the results speak for itself.
True.
I got a lot of luck myself, like, already in some leagues, in some matches, sometimes.
Yeah, usually I hate it because it's usually against me, but sometimes, like in the finals, it can be a good thing.
Yeah, it can be a good thing. But okay, next up in the let's see. Oh, I missed the tab. There we go. We have the New Jersey Jumplers. Both we have them at 8th place.
Yeah, our 5th, 8th place are all the same actually. So
yeah, so we can basically agree on everything we say. I hope at least. Right. But yeah, New Jersey Jumplers. He was already in season 2. In season 2, he started actually as one of the new guys to the league. First season in league format, and now it's the second one. Now was the time to show that what he basically learned in the first season, in which he didn't perform too well. And yeah, that basically is what I saw in this season. He definitely improved to last season. He ended up with a 4-3 record, more wins than losses. Basically, he was close to getting even into playoffs. It was only a matter of differential. So he definitely had a shot even at that, and that's what I like to see. I like to see people improving all of the time, and that's a good example of how Christian performed all the time. He won 1 over Pierre, which is a top contender in the league. He won 1 over only 1 over Parsons, even though it's lower ranked. He lost, of course, some matches. He got a big win versus the Westbrook Park Rangers in a 5-0 manner, which basically made him into the playoff race at the first. Never mind, I can't talk at the moment. Which basically granted him the chance to get in the playoffs. So let's say like this, and yeah, I was very happy with his performance. He still makes some mistakes or brings some weird sets, which I don't completely agree with. But at least he has a plan. Even with these weird sets, they have a reason. Even if I don't completely agree with the reason, he's given his team some thought, and I like to see that.
Yeah, I completely agree. He has shown a lot of improvement over the past season, and yeah, I actually agree with you as well. His playing is not always up to the standard he has played in the weeks before, which is kind of odd, because, for example, his week 7 game was like he lost pretty convincingly, while his week 6 and week 5 games were extremely good.
Yeah.
And I do think that consistency is what makes him not able to reach the playoffs, at least not in this season, because if he was more consistent, then he definitely would have been a playoff contender instead of me. That's the only fair way to describe it. So I do think that's his weakness, and I do think that he has to work on that, but his sets usually are very good, and he definitely knows how to win the game and how to shift the ways in his favor. So yeah.
Okay, that's for Christian. So we can go to the 7th spot right away, which is Margin and the West Quinn Park Rangers. And yeah, let us know what you can talk about your fellow Dutchman.
Well, it's pronounced Martijn.
Martijn, okay, I'm sorry.
No, it's no problem. Everyone actually pronounced it incorrectly. It's the same with my team name. No one knows how to write it or pronounce it. So.
The Dutch is such a weird language.
Apparently so.
Just learn a proper language, or just speak a proper language, when we are all happy.
Spreche kein Deutsch. However...
Oh, that was decent.
Okay, thank you. However, the West Quinn Park Ranger, he had a little bit of a weird season start. Not playing his full potential, I don't think, because I know him from different leagues as well and know how he can play and how he does know how to play the game and he prepare for certain teams. Although I don't think his draft was the best, which kind of held him back a little bit. He drafted months that were like he wanted to use in a league format. I do think he did that to a good success actually, because his record shows that he is definitely capable of using even a lesser tiered months in a league format the way he did. However, I do think that again the consistency, especially in the first few weeks, that he didn't perform to his standards, and I do think that is what brought him down a little bit in his playing and in his future weeks. And yeah, quickly, I don't know if I have anything else to add to that. Maybe if you say something that I can jump into that, because I don't actually remember everything he played and every single thing. Because he hasn't.
Okay. Yeah, I think I could say his draft, he was actually ranked pretty low after his draft, so most of the people were not really impressed by that. But he could show off some usages of these low tier mons and how they can be useful in league format. But yeah, the inconsistency is with him probably the biggest I have seen through the league. He had only 2 matches which were close in 1-0, the other were all losses, which are either big, or wins, which are either big. Like he won 5-0, then he lost 5-0 again, then he won 6-0, then he lost 6-0 again, then he lost 5-0, and then he won 4-0 again. So that's basically the biggest inconsistency I could see through the league in general. Yeah. Either he wins high or he loses high, and yeah, make it to only winning high, and you're actually at the number 1 spot. So yeah, that's my advice.
Well, basically.
Yeah, win high, that's my advice.
Also, I think the game versus me, he had a little bit of luck as well, and I do think that is maybe why
I see. There's quite a connection between your losses, I think.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, I do think. Well, I mean, yeah, like you said, he wins, he loses, but if a win is purely due to Hex, well, I mean, I wouldn't call it purely to Hex, but if Hex has a big role in it, then I don't think I can rate that as skill always.
Yeah,
I mean, put yourself in a position where you can still win after that, but still. That is why he's not higher than 7.
Yeah, basically, and his his record on overall is worse than the other 2 in front of him. So
yeah, that as well.
Even though we can just beat the record for it, let the record speak for itself. But okay, as 6, we both actually have the Bangladesh and Uzi, and looking at the league table, he is actually 3rd place. He only missed the playoffs by differential 2 with a 5-2 record, which is actually pretty impressive. Like 5 wins, only 2 losses. These, like, basically we are getting into the top 3rd of our power rankings. So basically you will only see good records in general for these power rankings. And I have Uzi. Basically he's the 2nd best team, which did not reach playoffs in my opinion. The best team we come after that. And yeah, that's just his record speaks to it. Like 5-2, 5 losses, 5 wins, 2 losses. The losses he got there were actually 2 big losses quite in a row. If I can remember, let's see.
It's Marcel, I believe, and versus Matt.
Yeah, he lost 6-0 versus Pierre, and he lost 6-0 versus Matt. And after that, he picked himself back up with 2 wins. He got versus Sasha and Bluesy. Not the 2 most impressive. Let's say that most
yeah, they're both ranked lower than.
Yeah. Oh wait, one loss I see was because I missaw. One was a mid-season forfeit. He lost 5-0 and he lost 6-0 versus Matt and Sam. Yeah, that was pretty, like, he was doing very great in the first half of the season with big wins. That's why we had him ranked in all the power rankings higher than actually now. But after these 2 losses, after the first loss, he got kinda not really down. But after that, the another 6-0 loss versus Matt really. Yeah, that basically destroyed his record, these 2 big losses. After that, he picked himself up with 2 wins again, and that's why he is so high up, actually, in our rankings. If he would have kept losing, he definitely would have dropped very quickly. But yeah, I know Uzi, he knows what he's doing. Sometimes he expects too much standard from his opponent, I think.
Yeah.
He gets often surprised, but not often. He gets sometimes surprised. Like, it's difficult to criticize someone which had such a good record, but I'm trying to find some things. That's why I'm saying this. But he gets sometimes surprised by some odd stuff, like an odd spread or an odd move on the Mon. And I mean, he plays a lot of smoke on OU and stuff on the ladder, and that may affect him that way. But yeah, I was impressed by his season so far, and I would not be surprised if next season he would reach the playoffs.
I completely agree on that. I do think his biggest downfall in this season was he was a little bit overconfident, and that is like what you said. He often got surprised by sets he didn't expect to see, and I just do think that it's just under preparation and to getting too comfortable with the way he plays and the way he prepares, that he just doesn't expect his opponents to be good enough to beat him. And I think that was his downfall twice, because Sam at one point didn't have the best differential, I think, the best record.
Mm-hmm.
But he just surprised him with a Kalma and Klefki, if I recall correctly. Yeah. And that's just a 6-0 versus the Bangladesh. He couldn't do anything about that. And I do think that is just something he overlooked, and that's because he lost. And again, versus Matt, the other guy he lost versus, he didn't have anything for a standard lantern. And I do think that, again, that is just being too overconfident and thinking too easy, and thinking that his plays will be able to make him the wins, when it's sometimes just preparation's sake to win, or to gain the advantage over the other.
Yeah, that's actually the thing we can say about Uzi. And yeah, looking to the next spot we have in the power rankings, we have at place 5 actually the replacement for David. We have Shadi and the Bayern Munich. And there's a very simple reason why he is the best team which didn't reach playoffs, and that's why he won all matches he played.
He was 4-0.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
He's undefeated. He just didn't reach the playoffs because David his record was too bad to basically for Shadi to compensate that and get a spot for the playoffs. But he definitely has shown that what he can do. Like, basically everyone knows Shadi. He's from the PPL. He knows his stuff in league. He's very experienced in the league, and yeah, he could show that here too. If he would have been around sooner in the league, he probably would have been a playoff contender with the rest. But
yeah, definitely.
For now, yeah, we can't. Like we said, we decided to give the first 4 ranks to the playoff contenders. But yeah, probably Shadi would have ranked a bit higher, because yeah, he had a very good showing as a guest in our league here, and yeah, nothing to say basically from my side.
I mean, yeah. Even though I don't like praising Shadi, yeah. he did perform.
Nobody likes praising Shadi.
No, I know, but he did perform pretty well, and it wouldn't be fair to rank him any lower than he did than I do right here, because he was a 4-0. He didn't have the he had some kind of replacement draft, even though it wasn't a terrible draft at all. But he still managed to get. But it wasn't like completely a draft that he was guaranteed comfortable with or anything of that sort. So to be able to get a 4-0, at least 4 wins, 0 losses, with a team that isn't perfect, that's pretty good. That's pretty impressive. And I do think that is what makes him one of the better guys in at least this season from the league, especially the last 4 weeks. And that is why he cannot be ranked any lower than 5th.
Yeah.
Very simply.
But okay, that's for Shadi. Now we can go into the playoff contenders, and I would start talking about all 4 in general, like going from the top to the bottom. Why do you think this guy will win after that? Like changing it up. But for all which are now looking at the screen and listening, hopefully too, the 4 playoff contenders are actually Pierre and the VC Reshira, Merc and the Shadow Wille Mercrows, my guest Bob and the Camber Zygarden, and Matt with the Philadelphia Focus Miss. And I would not change it up and talk about every team. I would just talk about me and why I ranked these 4 like I did, and after that would give the word to you and let you talk about that. So yeah, I think we can change the format for that a bit, because it's the playoffs. Everyone can basically win. It's only 1 match, and yeah, many things can decide.
Yeah, completely agree on that.
Okay, so I dig right in. I have at the number 1, I have Pierre and the VC Reshiram, and that's basically the playoffs. It's difficult to analyze because there are many factors which play in. I could not look into every team matchup or stuff like that. It's basically that I believe and hope too that Pierre will win the playoffs. This is actually the first time he reached the playoffs in all 3 seasons, even though he never had a bad record. He was pretty good in season 1, he was pretty good in season 2, but never quite good enough for the playoffs, and this is the first time he reached them, and I cannot imagine Pierre letting this chance go. If he's in the playoffs, he will win it. That's why I have him at first. As second, I have the Shadow Valley Murkrows and Merc. You have actually at first, so you seem kind of agree with me that he is definitely a threat to look out for. He is experienced from other leagues. He is in the LBA or EPA?
Yeah, LBA.
Yeah, LBA. Okay, yeah. And yeah, he is there for a few seasons. He joined this season for the GPC, and he impressed me with his draft and with his playing a lot. Even though here in the post-power rankings, yeah, his drafting was very good. It showed that he is experienced. His matches show that he is experienced and nobody does, and that's why I have him as basically as second. It was kind of a toss-up if I put actually you or Merc as second for me, but I had to put you lower just because of the curse. If you don't know what the curse is, it's basically if you win the league because of some lucky influence from the Hex Gods, then you won't do good in the next season. And Bob still did good, but I think at some point it will have to pull through and it will deny you this win, or basically the playoffs.
Great, thanks for the heads up.
Yeah, that's why I have you at first place. The curse, it will happen. It will happen. I believe in the curse. It may sound weird, but it's a real thing. And as last I have Matt. It's just because he's not. Of course, it sounds bad to tell the people that Matt is last. Of course, he's not last. He's still a playoff contender. He is the 4th best in the league, in my opinion. But seeing that he is not as experienced as the other guys in league format. If I'm right, I hope I don't lie here. Okay.
No, that's completely true.
Okay, that's completely true. Okay, cool. I don't know all these guys from. I don't know where they come from, and yeah, I hope it was true. But yeah, he's not experienced as all the other guys in the league format. The playoffs, it can be pretty high pressure to battle the playoffs. You have to build for multiple teams, because you don't know the format. You will battle. The playoffs are basically made in one day, so you have to build a team for everyone. And that can get pretty tiring, and then, of course, the one play can decide that you're out or you're in if you win, or you're only 4th, not even 3rd and stuff like that. That can get someone, and I just think that the inexperience of Matt will, even though he had a great showing in the regular season, he was number 1 in my last power rankings because he just did so great, I think it will show in the playoffs where it really comes down to the nerfs and stuff like that. And yeah, that's why I have these people ranked in this order. And yeah, now for you, Bob.
Well, I'm obviously myself in the playoffs, so I have a little bit more of an insight on the teams and on what I think will happen because of the matchups and stuff like that. And even though, like you said, Philadelphia Focus Miss had a great season, 6-1. That's the best record of anyone in the season, and a very high differential as well. But I think plus 28 or something, which is insane. But I do think that Matt has the weakest team of all. I mean, his strategies are fantastic. He makes the weirdest things pull off, which is very impressive, and I'm still I can only praise him for that. But I think against the top 3 players, of course he's one of the top 4, so the other 3 players, I do think that he will need to pull off a little bit more than he did in the regular season. And honestly, I don't think that he will be able to. He has to play me in the first round, so obviously I cannot talk him down too much, because if he somehow gets lucky because of the curse, then yeah. But in general, I would say that I have the better matchup versus him, and I do think that I will be able to win versus him. And yeah, that's basically it. For myself, I don't think I can say too much about myself. I was honestly debating myself between 2nd and 3rd, but I'm gonna be a little bit modest. I can't be modest, but I'm gonna try. No. But I'm putting myself. Huh?
That's a big surprise that you can be modest. Once I asked him to do the power rankings and rank the playoff teams in a different manner in the 4th place, I could only see ranking himself at the number 1 spot. But see, I'm actually debating if you are actually Bob. I'm talking here right now.
it's the curse, man. I don't know if I can avoid it. So
Are you sober at the moment? Maybe.
That's the problem. Fuck.
That's the problem. You're sober. Oh, okay, that explains it.
But for real, no jokes. I don't know if I can avoid the curse, man. That's gonna be a problem. So I have to play Matt and I have to play the curse in one game. So yeah, that's not gonna be easy. But in general, I think that I can potentially win versus Philadelphia Folksmiths, and against the Fisher Restaurants and the Shadow Valley Miracles, I think my matchup is a lot worse. For Pierre had a decent season. I wouldn't say it went fantastic, but he did end first in our division. And he has a team that is capable of beating me, beating Folksmiths, beating Shadow Valley Miracles, so I do think that he has a great opportunity to get first. Although you said he is going to get first, I think he's going to get second or third, depending on, because he cannot get second actually, unless never mind. I think the way he plays, he usually plays very safe, or to an extent very predictable, and I do think that is going to be his downfall here, because he's going to play the Shadow Valley Miracles, and I do think just in playing wise, in skill as a player, not preparing or anything, just in player, I think the Shadow Valley Miracles will be superior, and I do think that's going to be the difference between the finals or the loser bracket in the finals. So yeah. And for the Shadow Valley Miracles, he had, I think, honestly, right now he has the most threatening team of all. He has the biggest threats that are considered in the league, and he has shown a great showing with the team as well, because he knows how to play it. He knows how to prepare for things very well. And his matchup, he has a good matchup versus me and versus the Philadelphia Folksmiths guaranteed, because I considered these matchup the games. Versus Pierre, I'm not too sure how his matchup is, but I do think that his playing capabilities will be enough to where he beats the PC restaurants. So yeah, that is what I think will be the difference between the first and the second spot on my power rankings.
Okay, and with that we will close up the power rankings for the GPC Season 3. All the links to all the coaches, be it Bob, be it all the other guys, will be in the description. There will be a lot of links, so if you're interested in some league action, definitely check them out. The playoffs will actually be pretty soon, and if I plan right now, we'll probably on the same day I upload this, which is tomorrow. So definitely look out for that on the GPC Twitter. We'll be announcing everything.
Yes.
And so you can join it live and watch the action between these four people. And yeah, I think that's enough on advertisement from my side. I got nothing more to say. Any last words from you, Bob?
Let's see. There are 00.00 GMT on Monday, Tuesday night-ish, February 1st, February 2nd. So definitely make sure to check the GPC Twitter to follow that. And if you are potentially interested in joining next season, then leave a comment down below and I'll hit you up and shit. So do that right now.
Here's the up and shit. That's a nice way to end it.
That's basically the message I want to get across. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's all from me. I will see you the next time I'm on the GPC Analyst channel. We will see when that happens, but once the time comes, I will see you there, and yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye.